crazy, I run from the hall in the courtroom, so I'm still will fall in my battle axe. I'll expose and decay, like lawyer, I won't accept defeat. Something tremble as I enter the room. Corrupt prosecutors mean they do. I'll fight for justice with all my might. In the name of honor, we'll make things right. No more secrets hidden in the dark. I'll bring justice with the thunderous start. With my fury of trust and lies, the reign of cruelty. Me is the wrong, tell me it's the wrong, tell me it's the right.
Heyo, and welcome to Try Watch. I am Santa Claus, or Viking lawyer, or Best Buy Gandalf. A dear child has many names. I bring to you Iowa versus Taylor, Dazey, Dazon, whatever. Tyler Dazey, Dazey. Now, you might have seen the thumbnail. Subset, Witchcraft. What on earth are you talking about, Nick? Well, I will show you the letter Tyler Dazon sent to, Tyler James Dazey, defendant. To whom it may concern, I, Tyler James Dazey, comma, a descendant of the Roths, comma, a Freemason, comma, and a Hebrew Nazarite, semicolon, am of God, comma, before as well as after, to be subject to slavery, comma, through usury of the law, comma, be it constitution nor amendment, semicolon. I will not participate, dot, I seek honor, comma, to become of worth, comma, big I, seek God, dot, my mother would be ashamed otherwise, comma, as is of, comma, my ancestors, dot, to seek God in death, comma, to become that of life, dot, sincerely, Tyler. Yeah, it seems to be one of these. And this case has Mr. Dazon allegedly ending his mother. Quite gruesome. You will hear 911 calls. You will hear a lot of things. If they are showing autopsy pictures, then you won't see it, because I refuse to show autopsy pictures on my stream. Today was day one, and so we are going through that. It was in two parts today, before dinner, before lunch, and after lunch. So we will get through it in 1.25 speed and skip pauses. Will I do this continuous? Stream the day afterwards? I will probably try to do live streams of this. But if Law and Crime continues to do it in two parts, then I might go as per now. I will start as an evening streamer. Okay, that is what I had as an introduction. So here it is. Iowa v. Tyler Dazon, and we will of course start with the prosecution's case in chief. Oh, by the way, hello before I go. Hello, Doc Lotus, Denise Sells, Sir Frank Otter, Mike L, and the rest of you who are here and joining at the moment. Let's see how this trial works out. Thank you, Denise Sells. Thank you so much. Yeah, I like this too. It's my favorite jacket at the moment. All right.
Please be seated. Okay, good morning, folks. Okay, if the state would start off by reading the charge in this matter, please. I show that I have you turned on, if it's number 2.
Starts off with audio problems. Not.
Can you hear me?
I am going into this raw. I
In the
have not
District
seen
Court
anything.
of Iowa, in and for Dubuque County. The State of Iowa plaintiff versus Tyler J. Dazey, defendant. Criminal number FECR 153723, trial information. Comes now Scott J. Nelson and Amanda J. Lassance as prosecuting attorneys of Dubuque County, State of Iowa, and in the name and by the authority of the State of Iowa accuses Tyler J. Dazey of the crimes of count 1, murder in the first degree, count 2, animal abuse, committed as follows. Count 1, said defendant on or about the 18th day of January in Dubuque County, Iowa, while having malice aforethought, did willfully, deliberately, and with premeditation kill Jennifer Dazey, all in violation of Iowa Code Section 707.1 and 707.2, sub 1, sub A. Count 2, said defendant on or about the 18th day of January 2024 in Dubuque County, Iowa, did intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly inflict injury, serious injury, or death of an animal by force or violence, resulting in death to the animal.
Animal cruelty and animal ending. Yeah. If if the evidence show it, fry the guy. Don't do animal stuff. Don't. But we are just a minute into the prosecution's case in chief. We haven't heard from the defense. Let's keep an open mind here, folks.
All in violation of Iowa Code Section 717B.2, sub 1, and 717B.2, sub 4. A true information, signed Scott J. Nelson and Amanda J. Lassance. The defendant has entered a plea of not guilty.
Yep. And for you who do not know, Mr. Dazey was first deemed incompetent to stand trial. Then at the second hearing, he was deemed competent. And since then, he has refused to enter a plea of the insanity defense. We are in for a ride here, folks.
And Ms. Lassance, whenever you're ready for opening statement, go right ahead.
Okay.
Oh, those were the charges. Okay. So 3 charges. Murder 1, murder 2, and animal cruelty.
May it please the court? Counsel? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
She has a mosquito. That's good. So the mic will go with her wherever she goes. Thank you. Thank you, Iowa court. Thank you. Let's see if she can use it.
May I publish prosecution, Judge?
And just for the record, the state has talked to us about this prior to doing this, and we don't have any objection.
Okay.
The lights on are fine. The lights don't need to be down. This is Jennifer and Echo Dazey. They are enjoying a vacation together, relaxing, enjoying the water, not a care in the world. Jennifer Dazey was 46 years old. Her companion, Echo, was still a pup, just a few months old when this picture was taken. Jenny was taken, and that was to make it to all 50 states before she turned 50 years old. She wanted to complete that task with Echo by her side. But they never. Jenny and Echo's lives were cut short on January 18, 2024, and the evidence
And
will show
audio
that Tyler
problems.
Dazey, the defendant, is responsible for both their deaths. Christy Bowman has been Jenny's friend for many, many years. She and Jenny met several years ago and became quick friends, best friends. Over the years, they fell in and out of contact, like friends do, but some health problems brought them closer together, and in September 2023, they were back, best friends. In September, Jenny was to have surgery, and Christy was always there for appointments and her care schedule. Around that same time, Jenny's son, the defendant, moved in with her at 1605 Avoca Street. Avoca Street is that neighborhood in town, tucked right between Senior High School and University Avenue by Westminster Church and the Hardys that just got torn down, cut through neighborhood. That's where 1605 Avoca Street is. During Jenny's recovery from that surgery, Christy was at 1605 Avoca Street often. She got to know the defendant better during this time, as the defendant and Jenny were home together quite often. She will tell you about how Jenny would nag the defendant, how Jenny would do things that upset him, and he would call her nasty names. But otherwise, everything seemed okay. Christy was arrested until her own words came about. She had sent to them with a surgery schedule in December. Jenny or the defendant regularly during her recovery, though Jenny did come over to her house. On January 17th, January 17th, 2024, Christy was ready to get back into her routine and see her friend. So they made a coffee date for the next morning. The next day, on January 18th, Christy showed up late with coffee creamer in tow around 8:30 a.m. She goes into the porch and lets herself in the front door. She doesn't even get in when she sees the living room right between that separate the living room from the dining room. He is naked and he is turned away from her. She wasn't expecting this, so she closes the door and waits until she hears a door close. At this point, Christy will tell you that she doesn't think anything odd is going on. She had seen a red truck in the driveway, a truck she knew to belong to Jenny's son, Nick, but she didn't see Jenny's car in the driveway. Maybe Jenny had left to pick up some coffee to bring to them or something, and the defendant didn't know that Christy was coming over. She went ahead and went in the house. When she thought the defendant was no longer in the living room, she sets the creamer down on an end table by the couch, and she thinks, I'll just sit down and wait. Well, she goes to sit, and on the corner of the couch, she sees Echo, the dog. He's still not moving, and that's weird to her because he normally would greet someone who comes.
Oh, poor Echo. Echo the dog. Oh, poor doggy.
So she goes over to him. She lifts up a leg, and it drops. She now knows something has happened to Echo. So she starts to wonder what's going on here. Nick's car's here. Did Nick and Jenny go get help for Echo? She looks around, tries to contact Jenny on her cell phone when she sees Jenny's purse in the corner. Now she says, that's weird. Jenny would take her purse if she went somewhere. Maybe she's sleeping and doesn't know something has happened to Echo. So Christy then goes to Jenny's room. She calls to her, wake up. But Jenny doesn't react. It's dark in the room, but as Christy's eyes adjust, she sees blood. Doesn't know what to do or think. She calls her boyfriend and she says she thinks Jenny is dead. She calls the police and she says she thinks her friend Jenny. There's no idea.
Okay. So this is from the court. This is not mine. Hey, Jody from Tennessee. I'm visiting Tennessee next month. I'm going to Knoxville to visit
Officer Brad
Valhalla
Hasselbacher
Waits.
responds to 1605. Hasselbacher, excuse me. I have Avoca Street. When he gets to the door, he can hear sobbing, and he goes in to find where that sobbing is coming from. As he enters, Christie opens, as he enters the residence, Christie opens the door to the bedroom and latches onto Hasselbacher, saying, "Don't leave me." Christie runs to, stays there while Hasselbacher looks around the room, turns on a light, and sees what scared Christie. A woman is clearly deceased in her bed. It's bloody, and she has several wounds about her face, and he notices a finger on the nightstand. This is a homicide.
Oh.
It is then that officers learn the defendant is still in the house and not accounted for. So Hasselbacher takes Christie away from the scene while other officers defendant. Lieutenant Wilkins DeJuste arrives to help inside the house, while other officers, including Lieutenant Chad Crable, secure the exterior of the house. DeJuste will tell you about the precautions the department takes when trying to see, and that in this instant, they called out several times, "Police, if you are here, come to my voice." So they continue to clear the house room by room. Story, which they initially believed to be attic access, is actually a if he was alive or dead. You see breathing, and they tell him to put his hand behind his back, which he does immediately. He just goes on to clear the rest of the house. There's no one else inside. Investigator Isaac Hoff is inside the house as the defendant is being detained. The defendant is naked, appears wet, and officers roll him over and help him to his feet. Hoff will tell you about the defendant's appearance, his personal observations of him during that time, and that a decision was made to put him in a Tyvek suit in order to preserve any potential evidence and just put him in something because it's January 18th and it's cold outside.
Can somebody call Morrissey from the Karen Reed case? He can show this to Canton Mass police officers on how to preserve evidence. So, yeah. Somebody call Lally or Proctor or anything. This is how you preserve evidence.
Given the nature of things, the scene, the condition the defendant was in, law enforcement made the decision to transport him to Mercy Hospital to make sure he's okay. The defendant by investigator Kurt Rosenthal, while other investigators remain on scene collecting evidence. A hatchet sheath is seen on the dining room table. Search warrants are obtained to process the house and collect swabs of DNA from the defendant, as well as samples of his blood and urine. The house is processed first. White for an examination. Jenny's bedroom is photographed as it is. Swabs are taken, and Jenny's is packaged and taken to the Iowa Medical Examiner's office. That sheath on the dining room table that was seen, its partner was located in the back room, sitting on a shelf just above the toilet. That hatchet is packaged and sent to the Iowa Crime Lab for testing. There are drops on the floor just in the living room where the dog is located, and those are swabbed and sent to the lab for testing. The defendant's room was searched. There were lots of tools, tactical gear, work clothes, but nothing that appeared to have blood on them. The house had Ring cameras and 4 doors. It was clear that the basement door was not accessed. The side door was locked, and the camera located above it did not have any footage that had been saved. The front porch door was open and led to an interior door, which had another Ring camera that did preserve footage. That footage was reviewed by police officers. The camera on the front.
They reviewed cameras, Ring cameras. Folks, this is unheard of. Somebody call Lally. Somebody call Proctor. You can collect evidence from Ring cameras. You don't have to use solo cops. Who knew?
It's a motion triggered camera, so it was activated when something was caught in its line of sight. On January 7th, the camera caught Jenny's son, Nick, and swapping cars, leaving for the night around 8 p.m. The defendant was home during this time. That same camera caught Jenny letting Echo in at 10 o'clock p.m. There's no movement on that camera, 8:38 a.m. on January 18th, when Christy arrives for that coffee date. There's footage at 8:51 a.m. when Hesselbacher arrives at 1605 Avoca Street. Crable and Hoff testified that there was no evidence of a disturbance outside the area, no evidence that anything on the outside, anyone had forced entry into the home. While Avoca Street was being processed, the defendant was at Mercy Hospital. Just before he arrived to the hospital, he said something alone in a squad car, and investigator wrote the defendant was ultimately cleared from the hospital, taken to the law center. Between the hospital and the law center, the defendant's DNA swabs were collected and his blood and urine sample were collected. The defendant told investigator Rosenthal that he had showered right before officers came to the house. He called his mother a whore, a witch. He said he owned and had seen his hatchet just that morning. He will tell you about the discussion he had with the defendant. He will tell you about his observations of the defendant and that injuries were observed. Dr. Michael Adam White assessed Echo's wound to his head and determined that wound had caused Echo's death. Dr. Kelly Cruz examined Jennifer Dazey's injuries. Cause of death, homicide.
Yeah, sorry for the audio. It will improve.
Separate cutting and chopping. She will tell you about Jenny's injuries and the significance of those injuries caused her death. That hatchet, that blood. Well, the droplets in the living room and by Jenny's bedroom, Jenny's blood. Blood on the hatchet, Jenny's blood. On the handle of the hatchet, which was located right over the toilet in the bathroom, right by the shower, a palm print that matches the defendant. All this evidence points to the defendant being responsible for both Jennifer and Echo's. The defendant is guilty of murder in the first degree and is guilty of.
That was, let's look behind the audio. That was a 14-minute opening statement, only stating facts. This is how you usually know the prosecution has a good case. Now, they still have to prove it. Everything she said there is not evidence. Still have to prove it in their case in chief. Hello, Louis Thomas. Hello. Yeah. Compare this to to the opening statement in the Young Thug trial, where prosecutor Love started off by quoting Rudyard Kipling, one of the biggest racists who walked the earth. Yeah, be careful with who you select as your heroes. This prosecutor doesn't need to hyperbole. There's no need to add on cotton candy or cherry on top or fluff it up. She just stating facts. Okay, let's move on to defense opening statements then. Oh, they only have one mosquito?
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Hoover, go right ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Counsel, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, first of all, I want to thank you all for showing. I know it was under the threat of being thrown in jail if you didn't, but if 3 of you had chose not to show up, yesterday would have been for nothing, so thank you. The path of least resistance.
If you're opening up with jokes, I don't think a gruesome murder trial is the right avenue for it. Yeah. And nobody in that courtroom seems to be amused.
We're all human, and humans tend to go that way. We go to the path of least resistance, okay? And law enforcement, obviously, is also human. That's what they do, to the path of least resistance. Tyler was there. Hey, we got someone who we can place at the scene. We've got something that could have been used as a murder weapon. and it's found in the house of, frankly, Mr. Dazey making some statements that are strange, if nothing else. But what I'm going to ask you to do is keep an open mind. What I'm going to ask you to do is
keep an open mind in opening statements. Yeah, usually, I will not say definitely. What he's saying is hold the state to their burden of proof. They have 100% the burden of proving their case.
listen to all the evidence, okay? To they didn't follow up on. Listen for the things that they can't provide evidence for, okay? For instance, I think you're going to hear testimony about this side door that's always. I think you're also going to hear testimony about who had the keys to that, and that there were two people who had the keys. One was Jennifer, and one was Kylie Frey. You're going to hear testimony that they can place Kylie. They can tell you where Kylie Frey was at 10 at night and 8 in the morning, but they really can't tell you what happened in between those times, because we know she was alive at 10 at night. Okay, the evidence is going to show that. At 8:30, for sure that she was deceased, because that's when she was discovered, around that time. So what I'm going to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, is listen to all the evidence, not just the evidence that takes you down the path of least resistance. Because sometimes that path takes you to the right place, but sometimes that path can lead you astray. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have no doubt that you guys are going to do what we ask of you, which is pay attention. We ask you to know all the evidence, and we're eventually going to ask you to go back to that jury room, and we're going to ask you to deliberate, look at all the evidence, and at the end, we're going to ask you to come back with a just verdict. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
And that was a 5-minute defense opening statement with the keep an open mind, and apparently this Katie Fry. It will be interesting. Yeah, Louis Thomas, that fell flat. But as a defense attorney, sometimes you have nothing to work with. You have to poke holes in the few holes there is, and make sure that you hold the prosecution to their responsibility and to protect your client's constitutional rights. Sometimes that is all you have. But we haven't heard evidence yet. But hearing the opening statements, yeah, this doesn't look good for Tyler Dazey.
Okay, do we have a witness for the state?
Oh,
I believe we do, Judge. State calls Christy Fullman.
Okay,
Christy
She's in the
Foreman
restroom.
okay, sounds good.
is the person, I
Your Honor, may I
believe,
put this way?
who
Yes, go right ahead.
discovered
Thank you.
the body. Let's skip ahead until she's back from the restroom. There she is.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Go ahead and have a seat there. State your name and spell it for the record, please.
Christy Fullman, KristyFollman.
Whenever you're ready, counsel.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, Ms.
Good
Fullman.
morning.
Take a breath. Okay. Is this the first time you've ever had to do anything like this?
Yes.
Okay. So at any moment, just take a breath and take your time. This isn't a race. Okay? All right. Ms. Fullman, where is it that you live? You live in Dubuque?
Dubuque, yes.
Okay. And who lives with you in Dubuque?
My 4 children and Ron.
And is Ron your boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you guys lived in Dubuque?
18 years.
Okay.
maybe.
Okay, and while you guys have lived in Dubuque, at some point you met Jennifer Dazey.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that.
We met, her daughter Kylie and my oldest Adriana were in Girl Scouts together, and Jenny was the troop leader.
You are very soft. Can you pull that microphone? You can move it. You don't need to lean up to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes, much better. Thank
Okay.
you. Okay, so Jenny's daughter Kylie and your daughter met, we're in Girl Scouts, and that's how you met Jenny.
Yes.
Okay. So estimation, about how long ago do you think that was?
11 to 12 years ago, maybe.
Okay, so a while.
Yes.
And during that time, what did you guys do together generally while your kids were younger?
So much. We went to a drive-in movie. The kids would have sleepovers. Her and I would grab bites to eat. It was always something with the kids.
Okay, what would you classify your relationship with Jenny as back then?
We started to get close. We were just learning about each other through our children. So our children hung out more than we did in the beginning.
Okay. And as time went on, did that kind of change?
Yes, we got so close as time went on.
Okay. Would you call her your best friend?
Yes.
Okay. And as time went on, you guys spent time a lot, but kind of fell apart too, right?
Yes. When Kylie and Adriana reached middle school, we kind of went our different directions. And then when they got to high school, we kind of reopened our friendship, I guess.
Okay. Tell me just a little bit about how that came to be.
Well, we both got sick about the same time, and we were in the hospital and texting each other, didn't even know it.
Didn't know that you were in the
Yeah,
hospital.
didn't know we were in the hospital together on the same floor. And then through our health, her and I went to each other's doctor's appointments. We did almost everything together.
Okay. Was one of the things you like to do together was have coffee?
Oh yes, coffee was our thing.
Okay.
We loved it. That was like our time where no kids were around, no one. It was just me and her, and that was whether it was 2 hours or a whole day. It was just her and me.
Now, at some point, Jenny got a pet.
Yes.
Okay. What was her pet's name?
She got a dog, and it was Echo.
Do you remember around when she got the dog?
Late August.
Of 2023?
Yes.
Okay. And what did she do with the dog?
Everything. The dog would follow her everywhere, up the stairs, down the stairs to the basement, in the car, to the grocery store, to pick up a prescription. I mean, Echo was with her 100% of the time.
Okay, and during that time from August of 2023 to January 2024, Echo was still a pup.
Yes.
Okay, active.
Oh, very active.
May I approach?
Yes.
I'm handing you what I previously marked as States Exhibit 1. Can you tell me what that is?
A picture of Jenny and Echo.
Okay, and do you have any idea about when that would have been taken?
When she was in Florida
Okay, on a vacation?
in December. Yes, on vacation of 2023.
Okay, I would move to admit States Exhibit 1.
Any objection? States Exhibit 1 is admitted.
Okay, may I publish?
Yes.
Okay, you said that they were in Florida. Did Jenny have some kind of idea about traveling or anything like that?
Yes, she wanted to hit all 50 states before she turned 50.
Just going to show you. This is Echo. Oh, that's a good dog. He didn't deserve this. Neither did Tyler's mother. But when you kill a dog, I mean, seriously? Did the dog try to protect her? That tiny dog? Wow. Poor pup. Yeah. Poor pup.
Do you remember her talking about any ones in specific that she wanted to go to or anything like that?
I know she went to New York, Florida, Georgia in August or in September. She had, I think, maybe 10 more to go. That was just something that she'd always wanted to do, all 50 states.
Okay, and she was planning on taking Echo with her.
Oh yeah, she had already taken Echo on 2 trips with her.
Okay, and you had previously mentioned Jenny's daughter Kylie.
Yes,
Did Jenny have any other kids?
yes.
Who?
Nick, Tyler, and then Kylie.
Okay. Now, you had made a casual mention of you and Jenny both being in the hospital at the same time.
Yes,
Ms. Fullman, you've had a bit of a struggle with your own health for the past several years. Would you agree?
yes,
Okay. And when you met up and reconnected with Jenny back in the hospital then, you had mentioned that she was also having some health problems.
yes,
Okay. And at some point in September of 2023, she had a scheduled surgery, right?
yes.
Okay. So just what you know, just a little bit, what was Jenny going through with her health during that time?
When we reconnected, she had gotten into a car accident. After that, she found out she had tumors on her brain. And then in September, I was taking her in to have brain surgery.
Okay, so her surgery in September was a brain operation of some sort.
Yes.
Okay, and before and after, what was your role within Jenny's life?
Before, I took her to all of her Iowa City appointments, the pre-ops. I took her the night before to make sure she had everything. I'm the one that took her to the hospital. When they admitted her, I was there after she had gotten out of surgery. Her sister, one of her sisters did bring her home. And then after that, her sister and I kind of went back and forth a little bit on doing her medications and seeing on anything that she might need.
Okay, so you were a very active participant with her care schedule and routine.
Yes,
Okay. Now, during that time, where was Jenny living?
1605 Avoca.
And who was in her household at that time?
In September, we're asking?
Yeah.
In September, it was Tyler and her living in the home.
Okay, and Echo.
And Echo, yes.
Okay. And were you over at the house when Tyler and Jenny were together?
Yes, all the time,
Okay, so did you see them interact with each other?
all the time. Sometimes they would laugh and joke, other times he would name call and she would just smile and act like it didn't hurt her feelings. And then we'd move on to like the next thing. But I did one time ask Tyler, all right, that's enough. My kids are here. Please stop. And he did respect that when my children were around.
Okay. What kind of words was he calling her?
He would call her a whore, cunt.
And would that be
Okay.
something routine? Like, would he do that often?
Yes,
Okay, that's one of the words that will demonetize this stream. I did not expect that to show up. I knew he called her words. That one I did not expect. Oh, Christine, you're doing this time too on your channel. Okay, good for you. Folks, go subscribe to Christine's channel. Let me see if I can put it up here. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, let's see here. Bum, bum, bum. There's Christine's channel. All right, let's continue.
whether he was angry with her or joking around, it was just something he would always say.
Now, in December of 2023, you ran into some of your own health issues as well, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, I have multiple autoimmunes, and I found out late September, early October, I had to have a hysterectomy.
Okay. And you scheduled that in December?
Yes,
What was the date?
December 13th, 2023.
Okay, so you went and you had your surgery. In December then, after your surgery, were you still going over to Avoca Street?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Hang on. After my surgery, no, I stayed home to recover.
Okay. Had you seen Jenny and Tyler at all during that time after your surgery?
Yes, Jenny had come over one time for dinner, and Tyler had dropped her off and then was going to pick her up later.
Okay. Other than that, you weren't seeing them routinely like you had before?
No.
Okay. And at some point then in January, you were cleared from your surgery. You remember when that was?
Yes, I did my post-op the week of January 15th.
Okay. And so after that, you were ready to get out of the house,
I was
imagine?
ready to roll. I could not wait to get out of the house.
All right. So you got a hold of Jenny. When did you do that?
What Jenny and I talked every day, all day.
Oh, I mean to get out of the house.
Oh, that night about, I want to say between 5 and 7, the night of January 17th, we set up, I dropped my daughter off at school. After that, I'd head over to her place. We'd have coffee and see where the day would take us.
All right. So you made plans to have some coffee on January 18th.
Yes.
All right. So let's go to January 18th then. Tell me about how your day on January 18th started out.
I was running late, taking my now 8-year-old to school. Took her to school, stopped by the house, grabbed something, and then was heading over to 1605 Avoca.
Okay. When you got there, where did you park?
I parked in the neighbor's driveway. If you're looking at the home from the street to the left.
Okay. May I approach?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'm handing
So
you
for
my
background,
marked as
the
State's Exhibit 2
relationship
and State's Exhibit
and
3. Take a look at
how
those.
the defendant, the words
what
he
are
used
those
about
photos
his
of?
mother.
Exhibit 2 is a photo of Jenny's house of the front,
Okay.
of the porch, the driveway.
And the next one?
State's Exhibit 3 is the back entrance of the house.
I must say, I'm never a fan of prosecution using friends of the victim to get in evidence in this kind of way. I prefer via police officers. But I understand, in order to save time, you can do this. But if they are already going to have cops on the stand, I prefer that way. But that's just me.
Where Tyler's vehicle is and the basketball hoop.
Okay, and is that how 1605 Avoca Street appeared to you on January 18th, 2024?
Yes.
Move to admit State's Exhibit 2 and 3.
Any objection? No objection. 2 and 3 are admitted.
May I publish?
Yes.
Yeah, we can have the lights on. I think we can leave the lights on unless it's a video. Okay, so what are we looking at here, Ms. Holman?
The front of Jenny's home.
May I approach again?
Yes.
Give her a- Forgot to bring this up. Here you go. Okay, so where's the front door at?
Right through this screen right here, screen door.
Okay, and if you enter that door, what do you see inside?
It's just porch. She's got chairs and some stuff she wanted to get rid of.
Okay, so is there another interior door?
Yes.
Okay. On our left side of the house, what is parked in the driveway?
Right there, that is Nick's truck.
Okay.
in Tyler's car.
Okay. And when you pulled up, did you see Nick's truck in the driveway?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and what are we looking at here?
The back of Jenny's home.
All right, you had referenced that basketball hoop before.
Yes.
Is there a basement access door in this photo?
Right there.
Okay.
There's a little door that was like a storage shed door.
Okay, did you know what was inside of that door?
I had no idea till the day I opened it in February.
Okay, and do you know anybody to ever access that door?
No, neither this door or that door.
Okay, so we were first talking about the basement door. You pointed at a separate door. It's kind of a side door there.
Yes.
Okay, use your pointer to point that one out.
Then there's this one.
Okay, what is inside of that door?
This one, you could use it as a mudroom, but she used it for like her canned goods and like a kind of like a dump room, you know, where water stayed. And
Okay. And did you know anyone to regularly access that door?
no, we used it for Kylie's graduation. Jenny and I used it once to unload groceries. Ron and Tyler only used it to take garbage out. It was rarely ever used.
Okay, and do you have any knowledge about the locking mechanisms on that door?
The bottom handle locks on the inside, but can still open the door.
So you're talking about the doorknob.
Yes, the
Right.
doorknob.
Okay, so did Jenny do anything about that?
She put tape over it so no one could get locked out, and she always,
Is it frozen? Okay. If you experience the chat or the stream frozen, just click refresh and that should solve it. Thank you.
used just the deadbolt.
Okay, so that door also had a deadbolt.
Yes,
Okay, any knowledge about whether that deadbolt was usually locked or not locked?
always locked.
Okay, who had keys to that?
As far as I know, Kylie and Jenny, I'm not sure Kylie gave her keys back when she moved out. And I
Okay.
don't know if Tyler got keys.
All right, so let's go back just a second here. You said when Kylie moved out. So Kylie used to live at 1605 Avoca.
Yes,
Okay, when did she move out?
September 1st.
Of 2023?
Yes,
Okay, and so from that moment, from when she lived there, you're not sure if she had keys to that back door in January of 2024.
no, I'm not sure.
Okay, but at one point you knew she did have a key.
Oh, yes. Jenny said her and Kylie were the only ones that had the key. She said that before Tyler even moved in.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go back to number 2. That porch door there, you said there's an interior door. Do you know whether or not any of these doors have cameras on them?
The interior door has a ring.
A Ring camera?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so now we can get back to it. Tell me about what you did right after you parked the car.
I grabbed my coffee mate, my purse, my phone, and got out of my vehicle and started walking on the sidewalk over to Jenny's home.
Okay. And did you walk in that porch door?
Yes.
Okay, as you were walking in there, you had previously said you noticed Nick's truck in the driveway.
Yes.
Did you think anything odd of it at the time?
No, because Jenny always let her children use her vehicle, or anybody for that matter, if they were in need.
Okay, so you walked up, you noticed the vehicle, you walked into that front porch area, okay, before the main door.
Yes.
Tell me what you did then.
There is another screen door, and then there is a main wooden door. I wedged in between those and opened the main door to the home.
Okay, may I approach again?
Yes.
I'm handing you what I previously marked as State's Exhibit 4. Take a look at that. Can you tell me what that is?
It is a diagram of the main floor of Jenny's home.
Okay, and does that diagram look look to you how the home was laid out?
Yes,
Okay, and would that assist you in describing your movements on January 18th?
yes,
Move to amend State's Exhibit 4.
Any objection? 4 is admitted.
Very effective trial. Usually is that when the evidence is good.
And I'm showing you 4A. Can you tell me what this is?
a larger scale of Jennifer's main floor of her home.
Okay, the same thing blown up.
Yes,
Okay, move to admit 4A.
Any objection? 4A is admitted.
May I publish 4, Judge?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so you said that you walked in the front porch and then the main door. Can you just kind
And here is something for Gravely in the Zachariah Anderson case, who presented the absolute worst drawing of an apartment in history. Absolute worst. See? You can, if you use a ruler and do measurements, you can produce a good diagram of a home. How about that?
of point those out up there on the diagram?
there's the porch door and then the main door to the house.
Okay, and you had said that you had opened the main door, but you were kind of in between. When you were there, tell me what you saw.
When I opened the main door to go in, I had seen right here by the 2 pillars, Tyler standing there naked. And so I hurried up and pulled the main door closed, but I stayed in between the screen door and the main door right here.
Okay, are you able to demonstrate for the jury how Tyler's back appeared to you? Are you, just wait, are you able to do that?
Yes.
Okay, Judge, may she step down?
Yes, go ahead.
Just right there, that's fine. Okay, thank you. You can sit back down again. All right, so you saw him standing in there naked with his back to you. Tell me what you did in response to seeing that.
I rushed, shut the door, stood there, text Jenny, hey, you, saying if she was in the home to meet me at the door. While I was doing that, I heard a door close. So I figured, oh, Tyler went into his bedroom. I can re-enter the home. So that's what I ended up doing.
Okay, did Tyler say anything while he was there?
No, never.
Okay. So you sent Jenny that text and you ended up going inside. What did you do then?
Removed my shoes, put socks on, and then went to walk around the recliner to set my coffee mate down on her end table
Okay, can you point in that diagram about where her end table would have been?
right here.
Okay, so you set your creamer down. What were you gonna do?
There's a couch that goes right here. I was gonna sit down right here on the couch. Cause
Okay.
at that point I had already known her car was gone, so figured we do coffee. We love Jumble. Haven't had it in a while. I figured that's where she had gone.
Okay, so you're gonna just sit and wait for her?
Yes.
Okay, did you ever sit?
No, never made it that far.
Why?
As I went to sit down, I looked to my left and I seen what looked like hair, fur, something. So I ended up scooching over towards that and lifting the blanket to find out what was underneath it. And it was Echo.
Okay, tell me what you did then.
I lifted his leg up and I dropped it. And then I uncovered him more and I looked at his eyes. His eyes were like, looked almost glued shut. And then I covered him back up and I stood there trying to think of what my next idea is going to be.
Okay. What were you thinking at this point?
Well, at this point, I thought Nick was over. Maybe they went to get help for the dog. And Nick took Jenny's car to drive because Jenny and Echo are inseparable. That's what I thought.
So what did you do?
So I still proceeded to go into the kitchen just to make sure she wasn't down in the basement trying to get something, which would be, I was right here. Then I walked through here into the dining room, kept walking into the kitchen. Right here's the basement door. If she was down there, she'd always leave the door open.
Okay.
It was closed.
All right. So you checked to see if she was down there. And then what'd you do?
I turned around and I walked into the dining room where Jenny's table and chairs was set up right here.
Okay.
And that's where I stood there and stopped.
Okay. What did you do then? Did you try to call her?
Yes, at that point, I tried calling her. I might have texted her. Nothing. The house was so quiet.
Okay. And as you were trying to do that, what did you see?
In this corner right here was her purse.
Okay. Did you also notice anything about the curtains?
They were shut. When Jenny's up, they're always open.
Okay. So you saw her purse.
A bit
She wasn't
leading.
answering the phone. The curtains were shut. What'd you do now? Or what were you thinking now?
I was just standing there calling her and I was waiting for a response and I got nothing. And when I seen her purse, I stopped and questioned myself. She never leaves without her purse. Like she never goes anywhere without her purse. So that made my gut start turning and I just stood there longer trying to think, where am I going next?
Okay. And where did you end up going next?
I was right here by the dining room table. This entrance door right here, airway, is to her bathroom and then to her bedroom. So I proceeded to walk to her door. Her door was closed.
Okay.
So I gently knocked on it, opened the door, said, Jenny, come on. You never sleep in like this. Let's go. I'm here. Let's start our day. And no response. And I'm like, so I kept, come on, Jenny, let's go. Wake up. Still nothing.
Okay. So what did you do then?
I then, right here was like her bed. And then over here is a nightstand. I walked up to the corner of the nightstand and her bed. And I stood there and I looked over her. And then I froze.
Okay. Why'd you freeze?
The blood and the amount of blood that I had seen, I don't know if I was in shock or if I was my brain playing tricks on me because the way her jaw was is the same way of one of her seizures she's had in the past. So I called Ron at that point and I said, I need you. I think Jenny is dead. I thought maybe seizure and her ears and everything, she bled out.
Okay. And at this point, you didn't have any lights on in the room.
No, she does have a window here and a window here
Okay.
that does let in a little bit of light, but she has those darkening curtains on her windows.
Okay. And she has further precaution to get extra light in on those coverings too, right?
Yes.
What?
She has clips on them.
So you had just a little bit of light coming in from the cracks between the
Yes,
curtains.
and her bed literally meets up right here where one of the windows is.
Okay. But other than that, you didn't turn on any lights.
No, I did not.
Okay. So you called Ron, your boyfriend.
Yes.
And after that, what did you do?
After I spoke with him, I hung up the phone and I called 911.
Okay. Did you know during this time where Tyler was at?
No, I had no idea.
Okay. And now, so you called the police. What were you thinking at this point?
At this point, the amount of blood that I'd seen, I got terrified while I was on the phone with 911. And I just dropped to the floor, crawled over to the door, and she's got dressers when you first walk in her bedroom right here. And I just held my feet up against the dressers and held the door closed.
Okay. And the whole time while you're doing that, were you on the phone with the police?
Yes,
Okay. And were you doing that and on the phone with police until someone finally arrived?
yes.
Okay. Tell me about when that someone arrived.
I was still with my feet up against the dressers, and I heard an officer come in and announce themselves, but I didn't believe it first. So as I heard the officer getting closer to me, I did open the door, and as I seen the officer coming around this corner, I hightail booked it out of there and ran into the officer. And I asked him, "Don't leave me, don't leave me." He proceeded to walk into the bedroom, and I proceeded to try to walk out of the home.
You had gone into the kitchen, right?
As I was leaving this part of the home, I'd seen another officer come in the front door. So I took off this way because he had his gun out, and that scared me. So I went and I hid in the kitchen area.
Okay. Until Officer Hesselbacher did take you outside to your boyfriend waiting for you.
Yes.
Okay.
And we went from this little area where I was hiding, this little area, and took me through the door all the way here to the sidewalk. And then that's where I met Ron.
You had said that you had gone to the kitchen because you had seen another officer arrive, but you weren't in the kitchen, right? You went,
This little dugout room, like a kind of a mud room,
and that's where you
Yes.
waited until you were taken
in
out.
this little corner, like right here, yes.
Okay. I don't have any other questions.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Might have just a few too many mics on, not sure. Actually, can we leave the diagram? That'd be awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
That was a straightforward testimony about her, their background as friends, and what happened up until the cops arrived. What she saw, what she heard, what she did. It's not much to cross-examine on, but you never know. You can never tell what the defense knows. This is still, it's the prosecution's case in chief. Auntie M. YouTube is a-hole. Unsubscribe me. Yeah. Check the subscription box to see if you're still subscribed, because sometimes YouTube decides you are no longer interested in this guy. So check the subscription box, folks. And welcome back, Auntie M.
I think you said that you had your surgery in, well, let me first say, good morning, Ms. Fulman.
Good morning.
And I know we've met before.
Yes.
In order to try to minimize some of the trauma for you, I'm going to try to, I'm going to just jump right into it. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So I believe you testified in direct examination that you had surgery on December 13th. Is that right?
Yes.
Prior to December 13th, you did your like weekly coffees.
Yes.
Okay. If I understand correctly, the last time before before January 18th, that you would have done your weekly coffees would have been on the day before your surgery on December 12th.
No, we seen each other December 12th that evening because I went over there to wish her luck. She was leaving for a trip and I wanted just to tell them bye. Like, I'll be gone for a little while. I'm having my surgery. You know, just the last tie bye before the new year too, because I had my surgery.
Okay. And you really didn't see her much again until, I mean, I understand you guys talked every day, usually by text, but you didn't see her much again until January 18th.
The week before, she had taken me to get groceries.
Okay. The week before January 18th?
Yes,
So the week of,
it was a Monday. The week before.
okay.
I don't know the specific date.
But the 12th would have been the last time then that you were actually in her home?
Yes, December 12th.
Now, when you entered the home, you came in this door here, right?
Yes,
Okay. And as I understand it, you opened the door. Is that right?
yes,
And you see Tyler standing in approximately this area.
yes,
And Tyler's facing away from you.
yes, standing up.
And he's naked.
Yes,
And he's just standing there.
yes.
You didn't see Tyler do anything, did you?
Do
He wasn't doing anything at the time. He was just
No,
standing.
he was just standing there.
Okay.
Uh-oh. I might have startled him when I opened the door, because when I re-shut the door, you could hear him like take off into wherever he went and shut the door. That's all you could hear.
All right. So after you closed the door, and I think you closed this door,
Yes,
so you would have remained on the front porch?
wedged in between the screen door and the main wooden door. Yes,
Okay, so right in this area here.
yes,
After you close the door, you hear footsteps and then you hear a door close inside the house.
yes.
Now, when you saw Tyler standing here, was he wet?
I have no idea.
Do you remember talking to me at a deposition earlier?
Yes,
Okay. And I guess I need to be specific. Do you remember telling me at that deposition that his hair was not wet?
I do not.
If I were to show you your deposition, if I were to show you the transcript from that deposition, would that refresh your memory?
Yes. Unless I'm just not understanding the question.
I understand. And for the record, I'm referring to, starting on page 32, line 23, and I'm going to have her read until probably page 33, line 6.
Okay, apparently she said something else in deposition than in trial. Okay, interesting.
Yes, go ahead. Do you want to identify the date of the deposition?
Ms. Fulman, this would have been, trying to find the date on here, deposition that was taken.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This would have been the deposition that was taken on July 2nd of this year. Is that right?
Yes,
And do you remember sitting and talking to me that day?
yes,
And we were in front of a court reporter, so it was all taken down.
yes.
I'm going to ask you to read to yourself, starting on line 23, and go through line 2 over here.
Yes, it does.
You saw Tyler standing there. Was his hair wet?
No, it was not.
And I know this actually has more to do with when you get into the actual living room. Okay. But did he leave water behind?
I did not see any.
And I think you told me during the deposition that there was no water on the floor.
No, there was not.
Okay, that goes kind of against the prosecution's statement that he just showered. That shows me that he might not have had evidence on his body from this attack. But if he isn't wet, but then again, this was in the morning. You dry up somewhat fast during a few hours, so that doesn't really say much. It will be interesting to see how the prosecution rebuts that one.
Did you notice any blood or anything on him?
I only seen Tyler that split second. I opened and then reclosed the door.
Okay. Was he holding anything?
His back was to me.
Okay. Could you see his hands?
No.
Now, you talked later in direct examination about going into the Jennifer's bedroom, the master bedroom.
Yes.
Okay. I have just a few questions about that, and not specifically about, probably not about what you think I'm going to ask about. As I understand it, the door was closed.
She always slept with her door closed.
Okay. And the door is actually back here, isn't it? There's a little closet here,
Yes. Yes.
and the door to the room is back here. So the door to the bedroom was closed,
Yes.
and the light was off when you opened the door.
Yes.
Now, kind of switching gears a little bit. When you come out of the master bedroom, all right, I think you testified that after you passed Officer Hesselbacher, you were heading for the front door, and you saw another officer coming in the front door.
Yes.
He had his gun drawn,
Yes.
and you ran through the dining room, through the kitchen, into the mudroom.
Yes.
And I think you said you hid right about there.
In the corner. Yes.
In this corner or in this corner?
The top right where you're at.
Okay. So if I understand correctly, you would have hidden right by this back door.
Yes.
Now, on direct examination, you talked about that back door a little bit, but it was actually while we were looking at it from the outside. Do you remember that? When we were looking at the outside picture in
Yes.
the rear of the house,
Yes.
and you talked about that door to the mudroom.
Yes.
Now, as you were standing here, do you know if that door was locked as you were in that corner?
No, I have no idea.
Do you know whether you locked it?
I never touched that door.
Okay. And you didn't attempt to go out that door, did you?
No, I didn't even realize there was a door there.
I understand. Who would have had access to the home?
I would object as to personal knowledge.
Well, she can answer if she knows. Go ahead.
Well, let me ask it this way. Is there a particular, I know you said that there's a key, a deadbolt on the back door.
Yes.
And I think you testified in direct examination that to your knowledge, Kylie and Jennifer Dazey had the keys for that deadbolt.
Objection, that's just a simple misstatement. She had testified previously that she knew Kylie had a key when she lived there, was unsure in January.
Okay. The objection's overruled. Do you understand the question?
No.
Ask it again.
Okay, that was interesting. That was very much a speaking objection, but it was overruled. So, okay.
I think you testified on direct examination that to the best of your knowledge, Kylie and Jennifer had the keys to the back door.
Yes, when Kylie lived there.
Okay.
I don't know if she ever returned them when she moved out in September.
Okay. And you don't know that anybody else had a key to that back door?
No, I have no idea.
Okay. On the front door, how was this door secured?
It had a keypad code. I need to stop.
Can we take a break?
Yeah, we'll take a restroom break, everyone, about 10 minutes. Remember the admonition, keep an open mind about everything. Don't draw any conclusions. Report back to the jury room.
All right, jury.
All right. They are moving forward quite quickly. I'm not sure where the defense is going here. I don't know how much. Oh, poor witness. Yeah. Court feed. Cut the sound during breaks, please. I'm not sure where the defense is going here and how much it affects the actual evidence. As I said earlier, she didn't see, he was wet. The prosecution claims he showered. Depends on when, between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m., when did the crime occur? Because you dry up quite fast. I mean, I had a shower roughly 4 hours ago, and I'm completely dry. Then again, I'm not a suspect in murder. Let's skip ahead until after the break.
All right. I think we were talking about the keypad on the front door.
Might be
Yes.
a combination,
Okay.
Tosha.
Do you know who has the code for the keypad?
Me, Jenny, all of our children. Probably a few others.
Okay. When you arrived there that morning, did you use the keypad or was the door already unlocked?
Already unlocked.
Is it fair to say that you probably don't know everybody who has the code for the keypad?
Yes.
All right. I think during direct examination, you talked a little bit about Nick's truck being in the driveway
When you speak of direct examination, what?
when Amanda was talking to you.
Okay,
When
yes,
Ms. Lassance was talking to you.
yes,
That's what we call that direct examination. And then what I'm doing is called cross-examination.
okay,
So when Ms. Lassance was talking to you and she put up there the picture of the front of the house, do you remember that?
yes,
You pointed out Nick's truck was in the driveway.
yes.
Okay. What does Jenny actually drive?
A GMC Acadia Black.
Okay. Did you see that vehicle?
I did not.
Okay. When Ms. Lassance was walking you through the whole thing as you went through what happened that morning,
Yes,
you talked several times about calling Jenny's phone.
yes.
Do you know the passcode for Jenny's phone?
I only knew it in September when I was notifying everybody after her surgery.
Okay. Do you know if you still know it?
I do not.
Okay. Do you know who else would have known the passcode to her phone?
I do not.
I think you talked about there being a Ring camera on the front door and then the camera on the back door.
I do not know if there was a camera on the back door, but I do know there was a Ring on the front door.
Okay. Did that go to her phone? In other words, I know the images are stored in the cloud and everything, but like on mine,
I don't know how a Ring works.
I have an app on my phone that allows me to access it. So I was wondering if you knew if that went to her phone.
I have no idea.
Okay. When Ms. Lassance was talking to you about interactions that you observed between Jennifer Dazey and Tyler Dazey, you talked about a number of names that you had heard call Ms. Dazey.
Yes,
All right. And one of those, I think you said, was Witch.
No,
Did he ever call her that?
I never heard him say witch.
Was,
It was bitch, whore, cunt. Those were the three main ones.
There's the word again. Yeah. If you want to donate to the demonetization fund, there's 99-cent super stickers. Not necessary, don't give what you don't have, but if you are so inclined to support the channel, there are 99-cent super stickers.
and I think you said that sometimes he would say them when he was angry and sometimes he would say them when he was joking.
Yes.
Okay. To your knowledge, was Jennifer ever involved in seances or associating with a medium or anything like that?
She was talking to the neighbor's mom that was a medium, but I don't know what came about all of that.
Okay. Was it about that kind of stuff?
Jenny had mentioned once about talking to a medium, and it was her neighbor's mom. Other than that, we never spoke
About that?
about any of that.
Okay. And I know you talked about those names and the way they interacted and stuff. To your knowledge, is there any history of Tyler being physically violent towards Jennifer?
Never in front of me.
And I think you actually told officers that it was your opinion that Tyler wouldn't hit a woman.
Not unless you seriously pushed his last button.
That is a strange one. That's a strange thing to say on the stand. Not unless you pushed his last button. Well, what is his last button? Was it a regular occurrence that his mother pushed his buttons or other people pushed his buttons? Now, this is not known to the jury when they sit there now, that Mr. Dazey or Tyler Dazey was deemed incompetent, then competent, that he's doing the soft-sit thing. Now they know he's calling his mother words, but yeah, that's a strange thing to say.
I don't think I have anything else. Thank you, Ms. Fulman.
Any redirect?
Thank you. There was a bit of discussion about the defendant's appearance when you saw him and his hair. Do you remember those questions by Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Okay. Now you said you saw him for a split second.
Yes.
Okay. And tell me about Tyler's hair. Is it long or short?
Long.
Thick?
Shoulder length, blonde. Yeah, now thinner.
Okay. And you didn't touch him? You didn't
No, never.
didn't touch the hair?
No.
Okay, you have long hair.
Yes.
Sometimes it take a while for it to fully dry.
Yes.
Okay. And you talked a bit about the back area where you were waiting while the police were arriving. That back, I'm going to call it a pantry area.
Okay.
Is a reason why you didn't even think to access that door because nobody ever accesses that door?
Nobody ever accesses that door, so it didn't even dawn on me to use that door.
No other questions. Thank you.
Mr. Blair, anything else for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. You can step down.
Okay. Helpful witness to bring the state towards how did the body was discovered, the cops got to the scene, the defendant's demeanor.
Another witness for the state?
Not quite yet, Judge. At this time, the state would move to admit State's Exhibit 5, which is the 911 call.
Any objection?
No objection.
Exhibit 5 is admitted?
May I publish?
Yes.
Okay, apparently in Iowa, you can have this played without the witness on the stand. Okay. this is new, but I mean, it saves some time, I guess. This is the 911 call, and a bit of a trigger warning. Might be words and panic and stuff.
Just gonna fix volume to make sure that's going good, okay?
Playing this in normal speed.
111, what's the address of your emergency?
I don't know. I'm on Avoca Street. I need someone right now.
What street are you on?
Avoca.
Avoca? Okay, what's going on?
I was supposed to meet my best friend for coffee. I think she's dead.
You think your best friend is dead? Are you able to check what the address is? Okay. All right, we're going to get help on the way here.
Hello?
Yep, I'm here. I'm right here. Okay. All right, just take some deep breaths, okay? What's going on?
I don't know. She's full of blood laying in her bed.
She's full of blood?
Yeah.
Okay. Is she breathing at all?
I don't know. I don't want to touch her. She won't answer me. She won't wake up.
Okay, can you see her chest rising and falling at all?
No, I can't look at her.
Okay, how old is she?
46.
46? Okay. Okay. So you don't know if she's breathing?
I'm sitting by her door in her bedroom on the floor.
Okay. Are you able to just walk outside and see what the address is?
1605, I think.
1605. Okay.
It's right on the corner.
Okay. Just take some deep breaths. Do you know if there's an AED available?
I don't know what that means.
Okay. That's okay.
They're going
Okay.
now.
We're getting people on the way right now, okay? And are you by her right now?
She's in her bed and I'm on the floor.
Be nice, man, commune.
Okay. It's okay. What's her name? Hello?
It's Jennifer and Dazey.
Jennifer Dazey?
Yes.
Okay. And what's your name? Is the door unlocked, do you know?
Yes, it's unlocked.
Okay. What's your name?
I'm a Christy phone.
You're Christy?
Yeah.
Okay. Christy, yep, they're on the way right now. There should be an officer coming up right now.
Please hurry.
Yep, they're coming. It's okay. Okay, I believe. Can you see the officer?
I don't know. Can I get out? I don't know.
Okay. Okay, it's okay. There's an officer. There's an officer pulling up right now. Okay, is he there? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna hang up with you. Okay.
State calls Brad Hesselbacher.
or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Go ahead and have a seat there. State your name and spell it for the record, please.
Officer Brad Hesselbacher, Hesselbacher.
Go ahead, counsel.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, officer. How are you today?
Good.
Good. And I see you are in uniform. Are you currently employed as a City of Dubuque police officer?
I am.
And how long have you been employed as a City of Dubuque police officer?
14 years.
And
Somebody call Canton Mass and tell them you can be a cop without shaving your head. Now, this guy looks to be a cop and looks to be a cop that gives no Fs. Just by the looks of him, yeah. If he came up to me, I would not be a jackass, just saying. Yes, Ghost, that was difficult to listen to because she was really in a panic. She knew her best friend was gone. And you don't wish that on anybody to discover the body of your best friend.
prior to that, did you work in any other agencies of law enforcement?
I did.
Tell
The
me.
city of Milwaukee in Wisconsin for
And-
3 years.
For 3 years. So did you say 14 years in Dubuque?
I did, correct,
17 years of law enforcement experience?
correct.
Prior to that, I believe you told me you were a truck driver?
That's correct.
Okay. And so
I can see that. So truck driver to cop. Yep. Coincidentally, truck drivers and cops are among the people who you find a bunch of serial killers amongst truck drivers and cops. That is just me saying a weird fact. But this guy seems to be, as of now, trustworthy. But he hasn't testified for real yet.
in order to become a Milwaukee police officer, do they have their own law enforcement academy?
They do. It's a 26-week
Okay.
academy.
And did you participate in that and graduate?
I did.
And so when you transferred employment to the city of Dubuque, did that training transfer to the state of Iowa?
It did, other than taking a written test to show I understood Iowa code.
Okay. And did you complete that?
I did.
Okay. And as a city of Dubuque police officer, you are required to complete continuing education, trainings, and things like that. Are yours all up to date?
They are.
Okay. So generally, as a city of Dubuque peace officer, what are some of your tasks you deal with regularly?
Traffic enforcement, handling calls, dispatch to us, domestics, disturbances, all sorts of animal calls, all sorts of different.
Okay. And are you currently stationed in patrol?
I am.
And would it be fair to say that patrol, every day you come into work, you're not really sure what's going to happen?
Correct.
Okay. And so would you agree that January 18, 2024 was kind of one of those days, officer?
It was.
Okay. So tell me about January 18th. What was your shift that day?
Shift 1, 5 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay. And is that your typical shift?
It is.
All right. And dispatch had sent you to 1605 Avoca Street at some point. Can you tell me about that?
I was dispatched to 1605 Avoca Street. All I knew was we had a deceased person at that location.
Okay. Is that what dispatch was reporting to you?
Correct.
Okay. So all you knew as you arrived was that there was a deceased person inside.
Correct.
Okay. So tell me about what you did when you arrived at 1605 Avoca Street.
When I arrived, I knocked on the door. I didn't receive an answer.
Oh,
As
I'm sorry. I'm going to interrupt you.
Yep.
And you arrived there at 8:51 a.m.
Correct.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry about that.
I knocked on the door, didn't receive an answer. As I was standing there, I heard somebody crying inside. So I checked the doorknob, door was unlocked. So I announced myself and went inside. Hearing the sobbing, I went to where I heard the sobbing, which was a bedroom where I observed Christy at the foot of the bed, and she was just sobbing hysterically. She couldn't really tell me anything at that point. So I went into the bedroom, which was dark. There's no lights on. And I observed Jennifer Dazey deceased on the bed with a laceration to her scalp, and fingers were severed. And so then I exited the bedroom to where she had gone out to the kitchen, which was maybe 10 or 15 feet away. And at that time, Officer Slight was coming in, and I informed him of what we had, and we began talking to Christy. And she advised us that Tyler could still be in the house.
Okay. When you arrived to the scene, you had no information that there was anyone else inside the home, right?
Correct.
Okay. And when you walked into the home, you kind of said you were walking towards the crying.
Correct.
And when you approached that bedroom door, tell me about how Christy reacted to you.
She latched on to me right away.
Okay.
She was very scared, and so she latched on to me.
I have
Okay.
lies.
And at all
Yeah.
times during this car,
Right.
was part of your uniform a body camera?
It was.
And was your body camera working and fully functional on January 18, 2024 at 8:51 a.m.?
It was.
Okay. May I approach?
Yes.
Okay, for you who just joined, yes, Tyler Dazey is charged with the murder of his mother and Echo the dog. And I do not see. They haven't said under which circumstances Mr. Echo the dog died, but here he is. Here they are. But there's no reason to end the dog unless he was trying to protect the mother. Happy times on the other side of the rainbow bridge. Echo the dog. You did good. You're a good dog.
Officer, I'm handing you a flash drive which contains, here you go, which contains a clip of your body worn camera footage from January 18, 2024. Have you reviewed that footage?
I have.
Oh, and is it accurate as you remember it at that scene?
It is.
Move to admit State's Exhibit 6
Any objection?
No objection.
6 is admitted.
and publish.
Yes.
And the lights, please.
Hi. It may take a moment to answer. Please wait.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Please come here. I don't know what to do. Please don't.
And officer, where that clip came out, cut off at the end, that was when you were approaching Christy and then taking her out of the residence, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Did you have any other involvement in this investigation?
No.
Thank you, officer.
Cross-examination.
When the clip cuts out, you went and collected Miss Pullman?
I did.
Okay. Where was she?
In
Okay, directly into cross-examination. strange layout, because I would assume that the entirety of his testimony would be, or is it another cop that shows up? They are kind of losing it. They're kind of losing me here. This is strange.
Kitchen area, kind of right behind where I was.
Okay. And was she right next to the back door?
She was near the back door.
Okay. Do you know whether or not the back door was locked at that time?
I do not know.
As you were entering the house, and I think we saw it on your body camera, did you see the red truck in the driveway?
I did.
Nothing further.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You're free to go.
Okay. They are running.
Say
through
recall
witnesses.
Wilkins DeJuice. May I check to see his status, Judge?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Folks are welcome to stand if you'd like. You don't have to.
They are running through witnesses. This seems to be a fast-running trial. Judge seems to be on top of everything. Defense is not putting up a show. Prosecution simply presenting evidence. This is a trial. I'm not saying I enjoy it, but I do appreciate a clean trial. And to show you, my audience and my viewers, even though it's not as big as the Young Thug trial, you need to see this also. So you see, there are places in the United States where you can conduct a clean trial. And it's fly season over here in Sweden because it's moist, it's been raining and sunny and everything, and the flies are freaking everywhere. And I have my electric tennis racket. Sidebar. Skipping ahead. There he is.
Right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Go ahead and have a seat there. State your name and spell it for the record, please.
First name's Wilkins, Wilkens. Last name's DeJuice, Dieujust.
Go ahead, counsel.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning.
Good morning.
I believe you are a lieutenant. Is that your correct ranking?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. And you're a lieutenant with the City of Dubuque Police Department?
That's correct.
Lieutenant, how long have you been employed as a lieutenant?
2.5 years.
And prior to that,
I'm just trying to get a better. Justy. Okay.
how long were you employed in law enforcement?
Close to 11 years now.
Okay. And what kind of education training did you obtain to become a police officer?
I have a AA in business administration, a bachelor's degree in sociology, emphasis in criminal justice, and a master's degree in criminal justice with emphasis in criminal justice, or excuse me, management.
Okay. And AA is an Associates of Arts degree?
That's correct.
Okay. And did you have to go to a law enforcement academy?
Yes, I completed law enforcement academy in Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay. And is your entire duration of employment with law enforcement for the City of Dubuque Police Department?
That's correct.
Tell me, what does it take to become a lieutenant? What are your duties over and above a patrol officer?
Essentially, you have to take the civil service test. You have to interview with the department, apply for it, and you have to show that you're qualified in a multitude of different aspects in law enforcement before you are able to be promoted within the department.
Okay, quick recap. Tyler Dazey is charged with the ending of his mother via hatchet and mother's dog, Echo the dog, who we haven't seen the evidence for it yet, but it seems like Echo the dog tried to protect his mother or his, well, Tyler Dazey is somewhat of a sob-sit. He wrote to the judge with claims of being of nobility or something and bit of rambling. In January, he was deemed not competent to stand trial. Then in another competency hearing a few months later, he was deemed competent. He has also refused, reportedly, to enter the plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. And this is day one. Prosecution, I believe 14 minutes opening statement, just stating facts. The defense opening statements, around 5 minutes of have an open mind. And first witness was the victim's best friend who found the victim and the dog. The next person on the stand who just walked off the stand was the first responding officer. And this Mr. Wilkins Just is apparently next on scene. So it is quite a fast-moving trial. If this was the young third trial, we wouldn't have been past the prosecution's opening statement. And they are already on their third witness. This might be a really fast one.
Okay, so it's a promotion.
Correct.
Okay, it's a high-ranking officer, right?
Correct.
Okay, second to captain?
Yes.
All right. And so as a lieutenant, do you have day-to-day law enforcement duties?
Yes.
And generally speaking, what are your duties as a law enforcement officer?
Generally speaking, they're administrative duties. I oversee a patrol shift, generally on nights and weekends, scheduling, discipline, coaching, and training different officers. And there's a multitude of different cases or different scenes that we as lieutenants and shift commanders respond to.
Okay. But you still respond to calls and help investigate cases and things like that, correct?
That's correct. We respond to higher priority calls, suicides, homicides, accidents involving city officials, natural disasters, robberies, aggravated assaults, and just to name a few.
Okay. And you responded to one of those types of calls on January 18th, 2024 at 1605 Avoca Street, correct?
That's correct.
Tell me about how that all came about, how you learned of something going on and ultimately arrived on scene.
I was initially in the shift commander's office. I heard a radio transmission from Officer Hesselbacher requesting the shift commander to come up to the scene. I responded, code 1, which is lights and sirens, to the scene. Upon my arrival, I got together with the officers and kind of talked through what was going on, and we kind of devised our plan from there.
Okay. And when you kind of talked with officers, where were you? Were you outside the home or inside?
I would say part of the conversation took place outside and another part took place right inside the front door.
Okay. And what was your briefing about what was going on?
After briefing and speaking with the officers, we found out that we did have a victim inside that was deceased. And then we learned that there may have been a different or another subject within the residence.
Okay. And so what were you tasked with after you were briefed?
After I was briefed, I made the decision that we were going to clear the residence. I made sure we had enough officers inside and outside to proceed with clearing the residence, essentially making sure there's no one inside the residence and securing that residence so the criminal investigation division could apply for search warrants and kind of run their investigation.
Okay. And when you say you wanted to clear the scene and secure the scene, you had how many officers inside?
I would say 3 or 4 officers. We also had a K9, but we decided that we were not going to utilize a K9 for the search.
Okay. And so 3 or 4 inside, and there were officers outside as well?
Yes, that's correct.
What would be the point of having officers in various areas outside of the house?
From a standard operating procedure in regards to how the department, clear residences from a safety standpoint, and essentially, it essentially makes sure that we don't have anyone going into the residence once we're in there or anyone leaving the residence to destroy evidence or anything like that.
Okay. So as all these things were being done, you guys just didn't start walking through rooms in the residence?
No.
Okay. And just generally speaking, Lieutenant, why would you wait?
There's 2 different scenarios you encounter as a law enforcement officer. The first scenario was what we were facing at that point. We made several announcements. We didn't hear anyone inside. At that point, we want to make sure that we clear that residence safely. We want to make sure we have enough people around the perimeter of that residence. We want to make sure that we give ample enough time for anyone inside to come to our voice. So we're going to announce, give that person enough time to essentially respond. And, vice versa. The second scenario would be an active shooters scenario where you're tasked with going inside a school or a mall where there's actively people being killed or shot. And at that point, you don't wait. You just go inside.
Okay. And this wasn't an active shooter type of scenario?
That's correct.
So you waited to ensure safety and security before proceeding?
That's correct.
Okay. And Lieutenant, were you in uniform on that day?
Yes.
And was your uniform equipped with a body camera?
Yes,
Okay. And was it functional on that day?
it was.
Okay. May I approach?
Yes.
Let's see here if they are going through. Okay. They will be stopping for lunch in a bit here. Now, it is almost 3 a.m. here. The only reason why I do this stream at this time is because, I had a long nap and I don't have work tomorrow. So I will continue this up until lunch. Then we will start again at around 10 a.m. tomorrow with the afternoon bit and then continue with the trial. I know in the beginning I said I might do this continuously, but I don't know how long this trial will be. And on Monday, I'm back to work. I can't stream in the middle of the night. So a few more minutes. And
I'm showing you a flash drive that contains a portion of your body camera footage from January 18, 2024. Did you review that footage?
I did.
And was it accurate to the scene as you observed it that day?
It was.
Move to States Exhibit 7.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
7 is admitted.
And I publish?
Yes.
Echo 1, 2.
We heard you call out on that footage. Was that the first time officers had called out on this scene?
No.
Okay. Did you and other officers call out in a similar fashion before that clip began?
Yes.
Did you take a look at the footage and see how many times ultimately officers were calling out for someone to come out?
Yes.
How many times?
Officer Slight called out 6 times and I called out 5.
Okay. And at any point, did anyone respond to those calls?
No.
And at any time, did you hear any other sounds of movement or anything else other than officers?
No.
Okay. No other questions?
Cross-examination.
oh,
Thank you.
okay.
How you doing today, Lieutenant?
Pretty good.
Good. Now,
Fast moving. Thank you, that's a real goose, for your $1.50 super sticker, which is A cat! Where is Mr. Jingles? Isn't here at the moment. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That helps this channel immensely. Since this stream is demonetized after witnesses testified that the defendant said the C word about his mother. And you all know that that is one of the words YouTube does not like. So thank you so much, the Surreal Goose. Thank you so much. Thank you. We have a few minutes left, and then I'm going to redirect you to Danny on direct.
When you entered the room, did you find any clothes that seemed to have any blood on them?
I did not.
And did you do any further processing of the scene?
No.
Okay. When you entered the room, Mr. Dazey was compliant as far as getting his hands behind his back, correct?
Correct.
And he wasn't aggressive towards any officers?
No.
No further questions.
Okay, thank you, sir. You're free to go. Okay, folks, we're a little bit ahead of schedule, which is good. We're going to take our lunch break a little bit earlier than we normally would. We're going to break until 12:45. Remember the admonition I gave you yesterday. Keep an open mind about everything. Don't draw conclusions of any kind. Don't talk to anyone about the case. Don't do anything to acquire any new information about the case. You'll report back to the jury room and we'll start again at 12:45. Enjoy your lunch break.
Okay, that was day one. Day one up to lunch. We will continue this tomorrow at 10 a.m. We will go playing it in 1.25. This court is efficient. And although the defense seems to try to poke holes, not very effective, because this seems to be a case where facts speaks for themselves. Palms says, have I ever read Waddy's Fed trial transcript? I have not. If you have it, send it to me, send a link via DM. I want to read that one, if you have it. Thank you. So, okay. Half of that day done. We will continue tomorrow. It's a clean trial. For a change, it's a clean trial, which is very, very refreshing. Now, the circumstances are horrible. Mother killed with a hatchet. Dog probably also killed with that hatchet. Oh, thank you, Dark Lotus. With a chicken bump or something. Thank you for your $3 super sticker. Thank you so much for the support of my little channel. Thank you so much. With that, do the subscribing things, and as I always say, hug your family. Unless your family is crap, then screw them and give your love to the people who deserve it. Okay? I will see you all tomorrow. Okay? Bye-bye.